Folks. Let me put some V on that thing. Folks. Thank y'all for clicking on, and staying on, and clicking on. You know who you are, those clickers, them big clickers. You might see a heart by their name, a star by their name. Them the ones that click on every day. They don't turn their back. They trying to be healed. They trying to be restored. They trying to be redeemed. And they know that this is a daily process. We can't put it down. We got to stay on it. We got to stay focused. I'm leveraging my audio only today because that allows me to ramble without worrying about what's happening with the camera and if I'm looking straight and if I'm hitting my points. Sometimes I got to ramble because as we ramble, the things will be revealed to us. First and foremost, this is not the time, unfortunately, for us to be or to have a weak mind. This is not the time to be weak-minded. And a lot of us are saying, I got a strong mind. I'm strong. I can. Yeah, but even the strongest mind has weak moments. And this is not the time to have a weak mind. You know, I got a few children under my belt right now, so I kind of know the birthing process a little bit. I've been through it. I've seen it top to bottom a few times. And the time that's the toughest is at the beginning and at the end. The beginning, you see the mom, she's having morning sicknesses. She don't know what's going on. You got the psychological battles of a new baby coming on. Are you prepared? Do you have this? Do you have that? But then you kind of hit a moment of stasis where you understand what's going on with the pregnancy and you guys are keeping up with the appointments and you kind of float through a little bit. And then as the due date and the delivery date gets closer and the intensity mounts up. And as you go through the delivery process, the intensity mounts up. And understand as we're closing out cycles, as we're closing out seasons, this is when it kind of get tough, guys. And I know what you're saying. Boss man, it's been tough this whole time. Amen. But there's a certain level of tough that you just got used to because you knew you was pregnant with something. Or you knew you was in a cycle with something. But then there's an intensity of pain before the delivery, before the closure. And you can be put up out into the new. And this ain't the time for us to have a weak mind. This ain't the time for us not to be able to differentiate in our energies. This not the time to slack off on your meditation, your prayer. You can't. Because what I was told a few minutes ago is if you don't have a strong mind in this season, you're going to be overcome with the waves of emotion. Let's be clear. The enemy is defeated. Enemies defeated. But like I said before, sometimes in your defeat, You know, the last person that you want to really fight sometimes is somebody who already is wounded because they get desperation strength. I might knock you out because I'm desperate. So I'm just taking a blind swing. So it's our responsibility to guard our hearts and guard our minds during these times, guys. Ain't no more monkeys jumping on the bed. See, when this whole thing started, it was like the child song. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell down and bumped his head. Mama told the doctor, and the doctor said, no more. And it's counting down the people that was involved. And karma is acting like that fall down and bump your head. And as that fall down happens, everything kind of starting to collapse. Understand, even though your enemy is small, a lot of them, they might be big in stature and physical. They don't have no power because they actually kids in the inside. They kids that ain't never growed up. But the last thing you ever want to see is a kid that got a weapon. Last thing you ever want to see is a kid with a weapon. You don't know what they might do. So you handle it like any kid with a weapon and you get out of there and you stay away. Last thing you want to do is try to wrestle that weapon away from that kid, lest you be injured. But it ain't no more monkeys jumping on the bed. And I just seen folks is looking at you like the Undertaker. Or what was that guy, Tyson Fury? Where they just knew you was knocked out. They just knew. Bow, bow, man, bow. I've been hitting him with my best shot. Bow. I came over there with that. Bow, and I hit him with that. Bow, bow, bow. I've been hitting them with my best shots. I know they knocked out. Boom. And they see you rise again. And that's scary. Even on TV. Even at home, when you seen somebody get knocked out and you knew they was supposed to be over with and they rise, it's ominous. And that's what the enemy's camp is having to deal with right now. They just knew Cold Blue. And that being said, you must continue to govern yourself accordingly. Mind your heart, mind your body, mind your spirit. Keep the promises that you made to yourself. I said this before, but I'm reiterating. You got to keep the promises that you made to yourself. Little kids ain't tough enough to run down on you. See, in some hoods, they call it a rundown. When you got beef with somebody, you run down on them, meaning I just came to the block where I know you be at and I ran down. Running down on somebody is a man's sport. And no offense to the women, when I say man, I mean, you know what I mean. Because I know I got a female population that listens as well. Running down on somebody is a stand-up gentleman sport. I had an issue and I was up there on the hill and I came down and me and you had to resolve it. Little kids don't do that. Little kids don't do that. They try to find a way to throw the rock and hide. Shoot the energy and hide the other way and and hide so they can't get fingered or pointed out. So as you moving, no matter how big the obstacle may be perceived, understand that these is kids that think they got a problem with you. I don't care if they're 100 years old. Because grown people run down on people. They don't run away. I'm rambling.